to Starstop. You're with me, Salil, and today, on my right, one adhuri jodi and one-man army. Let's put it that way. Salim, thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, Salil.
And sir, you are the one-man army.
Yes.
Every time I meet
One-man army.
Prakash sir, देखिए आज कमाल की बात है. I have never mentioned this before, but because I come from a convent army school, just to see your gait, जिस तरह आप चलते हैं सर, ऐसा मुझे लग गया था कि जैसे कि आप आर्मी स्कूल में. So, are you a military officer, general, marshal, even otherwise?
See, had I joined the National Defence Academy when I had got through,
जी.
I would have been of the rank of Lieutenant General or becoming a general, because my batchmates,
have all become that.
all become that. But the guy who used to sit next to me in my class
जी.
has just retired as a Lieutenant General.
Do you regret not having joined?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, each one to oneself. I do not regret any decision, anything that I did in my life. I'm absolutely fine with it.
But Prakash is like an army officer,
I know.
like a colonel. Because जब हम, एक तो इन्होंने जिस तरह से हमें डिसिप्लिन कर लिया है, अगर 12 बजे का वक्त है तो 12:15 बजे पहुंच जाते हैं स्टूडियो में. और यानी हम लोग 12, सवा 12
थोड़ा लीवे.
पर अगर प्रकाश इज वेटिंग 11:15 से, तो देन नेक्स्ट टाइम आपकी हिम्मत ही नहीं होती है टू कम लेट. इनफैक्ट यू फॉर आवरसेल्व्स वी टाइम इट एट 11:30 भाई, बिकॉज़ प्रकाश जी 12:15 बजे आ जाएंगे.
But Prakash ji, you obviously have been told you can be a very intimidating personality. फिर आपका वो हल्का सा, so you will keep that straight face, and then you choose. कभी आपने humor निकाल दिया, कभी ये निकाल दिया. So have you always been like this? As a filmmaker, also your films are very strong and heavy.
I don't know why people think of me that way, and there are times when I have been told that when I'm sitting in front. The only thing is that no matter who I am talking to, no matter who I am facing,
जी.
I am 100% there. I'm looking at that person with complete sincerity and complete attention.
जी.
I do not like to be frivolous, in my dealing or my talking or my stance to anybody. So probably that intensity.
Maybe they're not used to that.
Probably we neither are used to, having that intensity. So that is why in my work also, if I'm talking about my work, it is my work. If I'm thinking about my work, it is my work. It is the film. I mean, on my set, it's not that I'm talking about 10 different things and also taking a shot. I am completely involved in planning, doing, executing, and taking my shot and enjoying that. So it is difficult for others to kind of not be rubbed off with that kind of intensity. That's what probably happens.
Very inspiring.
You're a free bird. Every time I see you, the way you sing, the way you are, you always have been. Your first meeting years ago with Prakash Jha, would it be? Were you ever intimidated? Were you, like you said, timing, yes, but otherwise, because you're a master of your own craft as well.
No, I was intimidated because I'm a big cinema person. मुझे फिल्मों से बहुत ज़्यादा लगाव है, और मैंने इनकी फिल्में देखी है. तब हम काम नहीं करते थे साथ में, because obviously he was working with a gentleman called Wayne Shab, जो मेरा बहुत अच्छा मित्र है.
Okay.
और मैंने फिल्में देखी है इनकी, गंगा जल, अपहरण, और राजनीति, and there's also that one with Saif and बच्चन साहब, आरक्षण. तो ऑफ कोर्स इन्होंने बहुत सारी फिल्में बनाई, बट ये 4 मैंने देखी है प्रॉपर्ली और मुझे बहुत अच्छे से याद है. सो I was a fan of his work, and I am still a fan of his work. So when he called me for a film called Chakravyuh, obviously I was very happy, और मुझे बहुत खुशी हुई that we are going to be part of this film. And film की कहानी उन्होंने दिखाया, नरेट किया थोड़ा बहुत, and then I was so we started working on he showed us some footage of the film and all that. We started working, and वो फिल्म नक्सल्स के ऊपर sort of based थी. वो 2 friends की कहानी थी. तो I was very taken aback, and he just took me in this world. उन्होंने ये उस दुनिया में हमें ले आया. So I was, I was enjoying every minute of it. और आज तक उसके बाद सत्याग्रह हुई, और उसके बाद आज हम जगह जगह काम कर रहे हैं. It's just been a tremendous journey. I feel like it's been non-stop, and बहुत ऐसा कम होता है जहाँ फिल्म मेकर आज के दौर में म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर को इतनी छूट देता है. You know, there's so much of freedom for you as an artist to say what you want to say musically. Yeah. So we don't get that.
I am very adjusting type.
But he keeps saying that. I'm very adjusting, sir. So sometimes we do a song, he approves it, and then, you know, I change the song. I was like, Prakash ji, mujhe nahi maza aaya, I'm changing. So he listens to it, says, I love this also. So that's, you know, there's a certain trusting factor between us. Like, you know, if I'm doing something and, you know, if Suleiman, we've done something, there is a slight, but of course he's got a very strong opinion. And it's a great, you know, I feel music, filmmaking is about people. Yeah, it's really an amazing team.
You know, you have an unwavering voice as a director. Every director I have seen, and I've been either interviewing or being involved for the last 14 years, has started on a path and then drifted and expanded, maybe changed based on monetary expectations, commercial art, this, that. But you have stuck to a path which has always been giving the truth across. Actually, you have done only Satyagraha films, where every time we go there, I have always known that there will be great performances, there will be strong messages, there will be brilliant casting, because I think that, for me, that is the best thing about your films. Chote se chota aadmi bhi itna brilliant hota hai, because I know that one time you told me that they are not, there's a proper workshop for months that goes on with them. So, these are very heavy, strong films that you do. So, essentially, is there a reason, because you yourself, you've dabbled in politics as well, and you are. So, are you still trying to always get the message out to the youth to tell them what an India should be and what the right thing should be?
See, you may look at them as heavy-duty political films giving message, etc., etc. But for me, they are just stories. You know, somebody may find a story in a rich boy, poor girl, or whatever it is. I find stories in, you know, these social anomalies.
But you're able to influence a number of people with their thinking. It's a great thing. Very few can.
But, you know, just try and think. Whatever is happening around, and you don't see it as one incident. If you see it as a fallout of a whole lot of things which is happening around, you get excited. Like, say, for example, I'm just trying to, something which has been exciting me these days, or has been taking my attention, is like week after week, like suddenly I start reading that in the coaching industry of Kota, Rajasthan, where, like, you know, every student in this country who wants to compete IIT or Z or CAT or medical or whatever it is, parents spend lakhs of rupees for crash course of, like, you know, a year or so for their kids to compete. That's fine. Every week there are a couple of students who are committing suicide in Kota.
Yes, it's very sad.
And I start seeing a trend. I said, why is this happening? Okay, so these kids are not able to take the pressure of expectation of parents. Now, what is pressurizing the parents to sell everything off and sell this? When you start saying, what are the social, you know, misdemeanors which are really putting pressure on the society? And you eventually start seeing it all the time, talking about Vikas, infrastructure, this, that, and putting everybody into a rat race. So now this is the fallout of the pressure which is there on the society, and a poor kid is giving his life because he can't keep that pressure. You know, he can't.
You know, Salil, this is something which has actually really kept me so passionate about his films. Is that, you know, I feel art, cinema, is always a reflection of your personality.
True.
It should be, you know. And with Prakash Ji, it's
he genuinely believes.
And then when you're working on a film like that, you know, then you realize that, you know, how deep is this feeling, you know, which you feel as an Indian. These are the problems. These are our country's problems. And when we see it in a film, we realize it even more how it's tackled and what unfolds and how characters come together and, you know, make this.
But Salim, these are countries and societies' problem. But when you start dissecting it and go to the micro level, it is also a personal problem.
Yeah.
It is also an emotional story.
Of course.
And those are the stories, you know, which hit me.
Yeah.
And that's where I create my characters. That's where I want the world to understand, oh, this is happening not because the kids are not able to take pressures or not perform, This is happening because you are putting them into this fire, this situation. They have no option but to commit suicide.
And that's the best part about Jai Gangajar. It's not just a slice of life. You know, I mean, it's such an intense story about the police force going through such political pressures. And I mean, of course, he's the best guy to talk about the film. But as a viewer,
As a society, from 2003 to 2016 now, today's is the society. What kind of idols are we setting? What kind of examples are we setting? Why kids today boast of the fact that their fathers nobody can touch? Why a minister in a full-blooded meeting can tell a Mahila khaki police officers, get out of my meeting? And if she doesn't, she's transferred in 24 hours. So these are the social norms being acceptable. Nobody talks about it. So if the changes are so huge that the entire kind of mandate has shifted, the power fulcrum has shifted, then obviously we need to look into this society.
And that's the reason why, like I said, it sort of makes you delve deeper into yourself. That's the reason why I love sitting with this man. You can just sort of, it's almost like an aina towards society. So when you put a woman in a cop's uniform, you put a Priyanka Chopra there, you reach a wider audience. But then when you put her in a cop's uniform and you show the truth as it is and how it can be fought, you may not always notice it in a Mumbai and a Delhi, but his films reach out to a much larger audience. And that single power that the film can provide. We could keep talking about how we need to empower these women children, empower the women of today, the youth of today. This is the kind of film with just one picture. You haven't seen the film, neither have I. With one photograph is enough. With Priyanka Chopra in your film, it is just perfect. You're going to be hitting a much larger audience. A, that she's a good performer. B, I know that there's you also in this, which we're going to come to, but you've got this golden goose right now who's laying the golden egg. Are you really happy now that she's hated big time abroad also and now for you as well?
But we designed it like that.
You designed it.
I mean, we are the ones who kind of gave her the training of khaki, etc. And sort of the mannerisms made her a perfect IPS officer. Abha Mathur.
Yeah.
And, she easily qualified for the FBI agent in Quantico. We prepared her for it,
Yeah.
And in fact, we should be asking them for
So do you feel like a proud daddy sometimes? You say,
हाँ तो हमने तैयार किया वो फायदा वो उठा रहे हैं मतलब हमारा तो बनता है ना
तभी सोचा कि internationally release करना चाहिए.
It's a proud thing for India.
She's doing really good. But have you thought about subtitles and releasing abroad also? Baywatch के साथ release करके.
Baywatch, the Ganga Madhur.
But it's a good, strong, the casting most important with you. Like I said, I remember you telling me कि 3-3 महीने का पूरा course रहता है for all, not extras, the other actors as well also. You spend a lot of time choosing the right person also.
There is no extra on my set.
Yes, they're all actors.
Even the guy on the street who's just doing a walk is someone who we have rehearsed with.
Yes.
We prepare, we pre-produce as far as acting, camera, डायरेक्शन हर चीज़ की हमारी पहले से रिहर्सल होती रहती है सबका वर्कशॉप होता रहता है सबको मालूम है कहानी क्या है कम से कम वो सीन क्या है करना क्या है रिएक्शन कहाँ देना है सही रिएक्शन देना है सबको मालूम रहता है आई पर्सनली विथ एवरी बॉडी हु हैज़ अ लाइन टू स्पीक इन माई फिल्म आई सिट विद देम एंड आई chat with them, I encourage them to ask questions. It is my duty to be able to inform them as much as possible, all that I have thought, because they don't know my story, they don't know my character or subject or anything.
Yes.
Imagine Saif Ali Khan being asked to play the role of a Dalit. Now, he, for heaven's sake, doesn't know anything about Dalit, or he's never been that, in touch with it. Of course, he started reading about it when I narrated him the story and things like that, but I have to inform him. It's my duty to inform the historical, the social, the other backgrounds, and his story about, beyond the frame. So which is I do with every actor, whether it is Mr. Bachchan or whether it is a one-line character. And then I leave it to the actor. Because I don't direct actors on the set, never. I always kind of let them have. The max, I'll sort of texture or tenor or something of that sort, because each actor brings, his her
personality.
Own understanding of the character, and they do very well,
And the star of the moment comes across when you choose her, and then you coach her, you school her.
Absolutely, and it was just kind of almost thought that's probably not happened because we have been talking about, like Priyanka and me have been talking, jab bhi milte, why aren't we working together? I said, fine. And when this character started coming up, I thought of her, I called her up, and then she was busy with Baji Rao Mastani, and they were shooting like nights. I'm not awake beyond 10 o'clock, and so it's almost like, I said, yeah, ho hi nahi
They
paaya.
had a lot of night sequences.
I always finish shooting at 10:30.
Acha.
I never shoot beyond 10 in the night.
Wow.
Never. And I never shoot beyond 8 hours. My night shift starts.
So you were saying Salim should act, you should maybe act in this kind of a film. 8 hours is a very, very good shooting shift.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic. So, mera to I keep saying I'm Manna day and night. Yeah. It's like it's all the time.
Pura ulta hai na?
Pura ulta. Yeah, but it's fine. I mean,
Actually,
see, I feel I'm on a vacation for the past 23, 24 years. I don't really work. As a musician, you never work.
Yeah.
You do what you love.
He's being modest because he's just been blessed with God's talent. So I think it does work like that.
But that is how it is. That is how indeed it is. Like, I mean,
Absolutely,
the whole
it
process of creating a film is like, being able to do what you love it most, and see it there, I mean, which will be there for posterity. It's amazing.
And you see yourself now. And how do you like that image?
See.
So is it tough? Is it tough to look at yourself? And are you now as critical as you were of maybe situations earlier?
No, it is the same process. I mean, the thing is that if I decided for reasons which was like, the whole process of making film was not challenging enough. I mean, it was like.
So for those who don't know and who have been sleeping for the last 2 months, Prakash Ji is acting also, है ना? अगर आपने trailer नहीं देखा है, कुछ नहीं पता है आपको, he's playing a very hard, tough character in this movie as well. And so that process is being discussed. So you just decided it's time to challenge yourself even more.
No, it came about when I sort of like, the two things coincided. My need to have some better challenge, something new, which is like, from 8 feet behind the camera to walk 8 feet ahead. And also, as this character of B.N. Singh, Bholanath Singh developed, when I was meeting the DSPs, and I realized, my God, like, and how interesting these characters are, like, and who are not really responsible either for a police station or for the district, but are all kind of like, present everywhere, balancing between, every kind of thing, and strong politically, and, So I said, this needs
Me.
sort of kind of like, some consideration.
Yes.
And it developed. And as it developed, I really fell in love with it. I said, let me play this character. That's how it happened.
Are you happy with how you've done it? Or do you have, can you have a perspective on yourself only? Or are you too close to it?
I'm constantly having. I'm a butcher as far as that is concerned, as far as I shoot my scenes, and if I don't like them, I edit them out and sort them out.
But that is millions have tried. Very few have ever succeeded to be able to shoot themselves and keep perspective. How do you do that?
But you have to just be, I mean...
You have to wear different hats. If you're a director, you'll be a director.
Would you be able to do that?
Of course.
Yeah? You'd be able to be objective about how you perform?
I mean, I've experienced it. I've done a music.
But he is a performer.
Yeah.
He is a performer.
Couple of music videos in which I just didn't like my stuff, so I just, kind of got into some other stuff.
So were there times when you were angry with your own performance, or were you being able to keep it going? And
No, see, for me it is easy in the sense that I have lived with that character for such a long
Yes.
time.
So
I
it's
have
you only,
created that
basically,
character.
yes.
I understand. No, but when I'm, no, it's not me.
Yeah.
It's not me. Remember, because I'm the writer as well. So
Yes.
when I write, you'll be surprised to know that when I write from the pen and paper, because I write with my hand, I don't have
Really?
a screen. I can't type. For nuts, I can't type. I have to write longhand. I see the performance happening all the time.
Like a little dance in front of you.
The characters, they speak the dialogue, and I edit the dialogue, and then we again speak, and they counter dialogues, and the crowd in the back. So I have particularly I have the vision of the scene. I have seen it before. Most of it I write. If you read my script, you'll see the descriptions written there, and we follow it. On the screen, and sort of it works out very well. So I have seen this character performing. The one I'm performing, I've seen it performing time and again. I've seen it how he will move. I'll see it. Because those on whom I have based this character are all the time there. So it becomes easier for me. Somebody is already performing it for me.
Is it tough to compose music for films like Prakash Jha makes? Because there's not the typical. Although I know you enjoy more soulful numbers and all that, and all that works very well.
I'll be very honest with you. It's not very difficult to work with Prakash Jha.
Okay.
And I'm saying it in a positive way because when you're working for a person who's who's got a musical sensibility, your job becomes really easy. Yeah. You're not trying to impress anybody. You're just doing stuff from your heart, and that is something which we are naturally blessed with. Yeah. So it's really not that difficult to work with him because it's a pleasure to actually work for a person who understands music so well.
When you're writing the script and you say you describe each of the characters, are you also with the music in your head at that point of time?
I do.
Yes.
I do. And the lyrics, the lines, the key lines, I sort of it's all written there. So when I work with the lyricist, it becomes easier.
Yeah, actually true.
And this particular film, Jai Ganga Jal. Yeah. This was a surprise because even I didn't know when I was writing the script or when I was shooting that it will have 12 songs. We didn't know at all.
Yeah.
We never talked about it. There were 3 songs which we composed, which we had ready when I went to shoot. Yeah. Out of those 3 songs, 2 I did not use.
Exactly. Yeah.
I did not use. I just used 1 song.
Okay.
Yeah. Now 1 I shot and then I decided to discard it.
Yeah.
But after I edited the film, I started seeing the layers and between the scenes and under the scene, the subtexts. What a farce is happening, there is a scene where people are grabbing the land, the cops are coming, they're playing their own drama, the gundas are coming, they're playing their own drama, yeah. The social activist is playing his own drama, the people are watching what is happening around. And somebody eventually comes, the MLA comes and he says, don't worry, I'll give you land here and there. Yeah. I said, this farce which is happening needs to be kind of underlined.
Encapsulated in a song.
Underlined, the subtext. The songs actually come as subtext to the scene. And I started saying, as when I called Salim, mera mood kar raha hai, isme inke gaane hain. Salim was like surprised. Gaane kaise chalenge yahan pe to music background mein jo aata hai. Maine kaha yaar, let me do a couple of examples and sort of I picked up a couple of songs, some references, and I put them under the song, and then I called him again. And he came and sort of I saw them, I said, yeah, Prakash Ji, it seemed to work.
You do too much work. Too much, don't you?
Why?
You give the lyrics to the lyrics writer. You put all these things and give...
But that's... I'm making the movie, I have the responsibility.
But do you realize that you are, sir, one of a kind in the industry?
How did you start this interview? You said one-man army, right?
Yes, true.
Stick to that.
But yours is one-man army in a war that...
I don't know. I'm not talking for others.
No,
but the fun, I want to tell you what the fun of, and then we started sort of in how many songs? 6-7 honge. And we started working. Then these guys, they went on tour to America. And they said, aapka jo bhi ready ho jaye, because I started working with Pravesh Malik, a guy who sort of had some, so I said, took him as my assistant to, the musical. And then I started reading and Manoj Muntashir. Yes. He suggested Manoj Muntashir, and we 3 of us started working and started sending him. He used to be in Atlanta, he used to be here, there, and he used to receive those things. Yeah. I said, we are excited about this. So by the time he came back, we had 11 of these songs ready.
Just with this discussion, I cannot wait to see how all the characters pan out. Yes, there will be fans the world over for actors, but there are some filmmakers and some sort of scripts that you look forward to. And there are people like me that are fans of just that set. So it doesn't matter who's acting in it. I will always be out there on the very first day to watch your film, sir.
No, I'm acting in it.
Yes, yes. Okay, in this case, it's a double treat. Yeah. I will see you soon. Till the next time, bye-bye and take care.